Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Many of you guys know how excited I am about Jedd Fisch and what he can do with this Washington Huskies program. But I think what's flying under the radar with Jedd Fisch is how good of an offensive mind we're talking about and what he did at Arizona, being one of the more impressive offenses that we've seen in college football in that 2023 season. Want to take some time and dive into the film and talk a little bit about what Jedd Fisch brings to the Washington Huskies from a schematic standpoint on the offensive side of the football. And I think what excites me the most about this conversation is that I can't think of a better quarterback to run this Washington Huskies offense that Jedd Fisch wants to run than quarterback Will Rogers. Want to dive into the film, talk about the schematics and scheme that Jedd Fisch wants to run for the Washington Huskies. Really excited to get into this one. Before we do, just want to say thank you to you guys and a massive shout out to the Washington Husky fans. This has been a program that since Jedd Fisch has taken over, breaking down the transfer portal commitments, breaking down the high school recruiting commitments, cannot thank you guys enough for all the support you guys have shown. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. More importantly, we got a lot to talk about in terms of spring practice coming up. So really excited to dive into that. Without further ado, let's get into what Jedd Fisch wants to do and taking a look at the offense in 2023. I mean, 34.3 points per game, top 13 in the country, 6.4 yards per play, top 15 in the country. This was one of those offenses that kind of flew under the radar, but you were really looking at one of the better offenses in college football. And now getting into what Jedd Fisch wants to do on offense. And it starts with he wants to get his playmakers the football in space and let them work after the catch. You take a look at this Arizona offense. It's rare to find an offense that is as efficient in the passing game as well as explosive. And you take a look at that Arizona offense, a 71% completion percentage. That was top 5 in the country, while also throwing the football for 8.5 yards per attempt. That was number 19 in the country. And I think the question is, all right, how does Jedd Fisch maintain that efficiency while also hitting the explosive play in that passing game? And it has to do with yards after the catch. Arizona threw for over 4,000 yards passing in 2023. 2,400 of those yards came after the catch. And the big conversation is, all right, how does Jedd Fisch stimulate and create all the yards after catch for his playmakers? And it kind of boils down to a couple different things. The first thing I want to talk about is the alignment and how well that Arizona offense attacked space, right? Taking a look at this first piece of film here, you look at this alignment, Utah, as usual, loading the box, looking to send pressure. Jedd Fisch, there's nothing crazy about this concept outside of identifying that your alignment, you got 2 versus 2 here. We're going to see that, and we're going to go right to a quick screen where that number favors us. We're going to get the ball out quick. We're going to get our offensive lineman out in space 2-on-2 with offensive lineman getting the second level. You're looking at a walk-in touchdown here by really just exploiting the concept of, hey, we have numbers on the outside, and we're going to exploit those numbers. We're going to exploit that space. Really impressive. And again, it's not crazy, but it's something that Jedd Fisch does exceptionally well. Pulling up another piece of film, very similar concept, right? You have a condensed formation. It's 3rd and 1. Washington loading the box here. Same look, right? 2-on-2, wide open space. You're going to see Jedd Fisch go to just a little pick combination. We're going to attack that space. That's a matchup that favors Jedd Fisch and this Arizona offense. A nice little rub route. Noah Fifita throws a phenomenal football to that pylon. Kind of just an easy throw and catch for a touchdown. And I think that's kind of where it starts, right? The base of this Jedd Fisch offense is identifying the space in the numbers that favor what they want to do on offense, and we're going to go out and attack it. But the second thing that stands out for Jedd Fisch is he also uses pre-snap motion to create that space and to create the numbers advantage. Taking a look at another piece of film here against the Washington, again, this is the I've tried to not throw in some Washington Huskies stuff, but he had to throw it in here. You see the pre-snap motion here, and what is it going to do? It's going to, we're not necessarily winning with our alignment. We're winning with our pre-snap motion. You see these linebackers and these safeties have to respect Jacob Cowan coming in motion, and another just quick out to T-Mac. T-Mac gets out in space and works after the catch. Jedd Fisch uses not only alignment, but pre-snap motion to create the numbers and create the space that benefit this Arizona offense. And you take a look at another one against UCLA, very similar concept, right? Pre-snap motion, where we're going to motion our running back out. What happens here? You see linebackers jetting out. What does this happen? This gives T-Mac a one-on-one with this cornerback, and that's a matchup that T-Mac's going to win 10 times out of 10. Creates that space, that void, and Noah Fafita throws a dart to T-Mac. You see that wasn't T-Mac, excuse me. But you see what Jedd Fisch does in terms of we're going to try to attack numbers and attack space, but we're going to create that space and create those numbers advantage in different ways. We're going to use condensed formations. We're going to win with alignment, but we're also going to win and create that space with pre-snap motion. And the last thing I want to talk about is this Arizona offense was very consistent in terms of, hey, we're going to get the football out quick. We're going to get it to our playmakers and let them operate in space. But at a certain extent, you started to see defensive backs really kind of crunch down on those wide receivers. They're going to say, okay, if you're going to just go to the quick game all the time, we're going to start sitting on it. And when defenses start sitting on the quick game, you see Arizona say, all right, we're going to start pushing the ball down the field now. And again, we've been running quick game pretty much exclusively. It's been on the film. You're going to see Jacob Cowan on the end of your screen run like it's going to be one of those quick slants that we've seen all game, and then we're going to turn it up. Noah Fafita misses this throw, but this one should be a throw and catch for a touchdown. Noah Fafita misses it. But that's kind of the secret to Jedd Fisch's offense in my mind. And this is an offense that I think what's so special about it is it's a very high percentage offense. We are completing a lot of footballs, but most importantly, we're creating a lot of space. And if you want to try to take away that space, this is a Jedd Fisch offense that's not afraid to push it down the field. That's where that 8.5 yards per pass attempt comes in. They're not afraid to get aggressive in terms of beating teams when they want to scrunch down. And I mentioned earlier why I think Will Rogers is such a great fit in this offense. You take a look at Will Rogers and what he does well. It's the processing and it's getting the ball out on time, right? There's a reason Will Rogers is not going to the NFL draft. Does he have an elite arm? No, probably not. I think he's a phenomenal college football quarterback. I'm not sure if the arm talent is necessarily a top 10 NFL draft pick. But what Will Rogers really does excel in is processing, getting the football out on time, accurately, hitting his receivers in stride, letting them go to work after the catch. And if there's anything I expect Will Rogers to do in this Jedd Fisch offense, it's identify what's happening, get the football out quick, hit my receivers in stride, and let them go create after the catch. I think Will Rogers is a perfect fit. I think Jedd Fisch's offense is masterfully built to be a high percentage offense that's going to stay on schedule, but also be able to hit those explosive plays. And that's really the goal of an offense, right? You want efficiency. You want to complete a lot of your passes, but you also want to build and kind of create some of those explosive plays. And I think Jedd Fisch kind of brings together the best of both worlds. Massive fan of Jedd Fisch and what he can do on the offensive side of the football. You guys know how big of a fan of what I think Jedd Fisch can do from a program building standpoint. I expect the recruiting to go in the right direction. I expect a lot of offensive playmakers to want to go play for this Jedd Fisch offense, because at the end of the day, what does a wide receiver want when they're out of high school? They want to go to an offense that's going to let them make big plays, that's going to let them get the football in their hands. That's exactly what this Jedd Fisch offense does. Extremely excited about it. Really wanted to break down some film. Again, appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.